Welcome back to the Ripewave audio community. My name is John, and for this video, we will be troubleshooting and hopefully resolving a hum coming from our vintage dual CS5000 turntable from about 1985. And this is my brother's turntable. It's currently apart. I probably didn't need to go to this extent of taking it apart, but I'll show you the steps here that we're going through to troubleshoot it. Now let me first exhibit, really what the problem is that we're having. This is currently fitted with a Stanton Epic 2 HZ, meaning high impedance, 6E cartridge. I'm not convinced that that's really the problem there. Originally like a $95 cartridge. The turntable originally sold for around $400. It's a moving magnet cartridge, 47 kilo ohm impedance. Tracking force is from 0.75 to 1.5 grams, ideally set to 1 gram, 275 picofarad setting there. So like I said, I don't think it is the cartridge. We also have a different cartridge that came with the turntable. This is a Stanton 500 Mark II. I think this was a lower in the cost one at the time. Yeah, let's show you what's going on with this. We're to turn on our Parasound Zphono preamplifier, and there it is. And I don't know if this is coming through the microphone, but a very distinctive hum. Right now, the turntable isn't even turned on. So that's telling me that this hum is not coming from the power supply of the turntable, the motors, the mechanism to drive the tone arm, because that's all in here. That's completely separate. All we do is have the cartridge itself connected back to the Zphono preamp, and we're getting this hum. And if I unplug the turntable, we don't hear the hum. So we know it's coming from the turntable, this hum. And I'll turn off the Zphono. I'll plug this back in. So what I'm going to do right now is do a quick continuity check. I've got my ohm meter here. I'll set this up for a mode where we can do continuity check. And I'm trying to find out if we have a cable integrity problem here. And so where is it happening? Is it where the stylus connects and the 4 wires that connect in there? Is it where this cable connects to the tone arm? And this is a removable connector that goes in here. You cannot remove this cable without taking the wooden case off. So we do have access to that. I mean, I can do a quick check just to see if it's this cable itself. But let's just test it right through the line here. So we're going to test this out. I'm going to take one end of the meter to the first pin of the cartridge. Not getting anything there. Let's try the second pin. That second pin is good. Goes right through to the left end, the positive side. Nothing on the third pin. We're getting that to come through. That is the negative side of the left, so the left side is good. So let's try here. That's good. And So what's definitely not registering is the negative side of the right terminal. So we know there's a problem somewhere. Could be in the connector here, it could be the wire in the tone arm, or it could be this itself. Now what I can do is unplug this from the back of the tone arm, and we can do the check right here. Get a little closer to the source and see if we can rule it out. So I'm on the first pin. We're not getting a signal. The second pin, that's good. I'm getting the negative side of the right. This one is the ground. The ground's going all the way through. There's the positive side of the left. This time I'm not getting the negative side of the left. So I'm not getting any response from the negative sides here. It was odd that it went through the first time, at least. There's only one when we went through the whole chain. Maybe something else is going on here. But there's something going on with this cable here. It could be on this side of it, or it could be on this side. Now I did a little troubleshooting earlier, and I think it is the connector. So I'm going to plug this back in for a second. What I was reading online is oftentimes they need to clean up the terminals on the cartridge, work that out. Some people are replacing the whole cable. All right, I have this wired back up again, and we still hear the hum. What I'm going to do is just putting the right lead from the turntable in here. I'm going to move this wire around. The hum is gone. Now let's straighten the wire again. Hum is back. It comes and goes as I wiggle the wire here. Let's try the left terminal. There's the hum. Straighten it out, no hum. So the problem appears to be right with these connectors right here. That's fortunate because I didn't want to have to do anything with the wires inside the tone arm. So this could be a very easy fix. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these old ends off here. We're going to check for continuity of the wire itself from end to end. And if the wire is good, we can reuse the wire and put new connectors on. Stay tuned. And while I'm at it, what I want to do is just double check that everything is okay in this tone arm from the cartridge back to the tone arm. So what I can do is put my meter on the pins here. Okay, the first pin's good. Second pin's good. I'm going to skip pin 3, which is the ground, because that doesn't come back to this. Okay, pin 4 is good, and we'll just check pin 5. And pin 5 is good. So from the cartridge back to here, we're good. We don't have to mess around there. It's just the external cable from the back of the tone arm out to the preamp that has the problem, and we suspect that it has to do with the connectors. Cutting these ends off pretty close to the, because I don't want to change the length of the cable. I want to keep the original cable as much as possible. Not doing any upgrading here. Trying to keep the original compliance. And so there'll be a shield in here. just to see. Yes. So that outer grouping of wires, that's your shield. That's going to be the negative going to the negative side. And then we'll just twist that all together. And then we've got the inner part. These are pretty thin wires. Sitting at this 22 gauge and it's still not coming through. And I don't need a long length of wire. We're just going to solder these on. That's interesting. The white side is actually yellow inside. There we go. So we've got these prepared. So what I want to do is a continuity check on the wire itself. Try the first pin. That's good. The second pin. The fourth pin. That's good. And the fifth pin. So those wires are good. So the problem was right in the connector. Probably a lot of bending around over the years. So we'll need to solder some ends on here. We'll be back. I was able to solder on the new connectors. And I've got some better ones on order. But, you know, we can do a quick check here to, you know, see if these things are working. And what you want to do too is make sure you don't have any shorts, so that if I do the inside now, see, that's good, nothing there. There's not shorting out between the positive and negative terminals. That's what we like to see. You know, so we're good, and we can give this a test. And just from a simple point of view, we can plug this in to our preamplifier, turn that on, turn on our amplifiers, and see if we have a hum. Okay, before we put this all back together, because we don't want to have to open back up again. We do that so much. And that sounds quiet. But to be sure, let's throw a record on. We don't have any power on the turntable, so this is just to see if we're getting no hum. We're able to pick up from the cartridge. We're getting full continuity. And let's just try, because we don't have the motor on or anything, the power is over here. So I'm just gonna so that's good enough to just prove that it will send a signal without the hum. So now now I feel comfortable. We can put this back together, and hopefully we've got a working dual CS 5000 with no hum. Stay tuned. Gotta remove the stylus just to make sure we don't hurt that in the process. Now, there's only 2 ribbon cables that connect this back up again. Before we put that on, we want to make sure that the power cord routes through that little hole in the back here. And we screw it on to the plate with the strain relief. And I've got to get the power cord in place. There we go. You got to get in just the right angle to see that. And then I want to put these ribbon cables back in for the speed, and this other one, it's the power cable. It brings power to it there from the power supply. So that is the internal wiring. And then we need to put the tone arm rest back in. There's a little, I want to make sure that that's pushed in before I set that in place. I'm going to put the feet on. So we've got these feet that need to go in place. Plate. Belt. And I use my finger to hold that out. Line that up. And put that on the pulley. This is a belt-driven turntable. There. That looks good. Put the rubber mat on. So we're kind of back together. Stylus. Screw that in place. And then the counterweight. And we'll have to balance this out again. But we'll just get it somewhat accurate. These will be for the cover, the hinges for the cover. The dual CS5000 is now back together. Now, of course, we could do a little more tweaking to get the stylus and tracking just perfect, but it is good enough for a test. And all we did to resurrect this was to cut off the ends of the RCA cable and put new ones on. And let's do our final test to see if this actually worked. So we just have to. This particular tone arm record player, as soon as you bring the tone arm over, it starts to bring the record up to speed, whatever you select. 33, 45, this one will even do 78 with the proper stylus. Then we drop the needle down. It's quiet, no hum. It works. And I would play more, but because of copyright issues, we won't. This is really exciting. The fact that we can resurrect this 1985 vintage turntable made in Germany and get it working with very little effort. And I think it's still got life in it. It is in good shape. We're running it through our new Parasound Zphono, which we did a review on the other week. So I'll put a link into that. We'll do next a test to compare the dual CS5000 to our Sony PSX700 Biotracer turntable and see which we prefer better. Maybe we prefer one more for one type of music versus another. We'll go over things like the extra configuration, like the alignment charts, which I've got a little template I've made out of that. So what do you think? Is this how you would go about troubleshooting an old turntable? Is this the steps you would do to kind of resurrect it? Would you go through extra links? Would you try to replace the cable itself? Are you worried about the capacitance of the cable itself being in compliance with, I think this was a 275 picofarad that the cartridge is looking for? How does that affect it? Do you worry about such things? This is feedback that would be useful to the RipeWave audio community. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification so you'll be informed as soon as a video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.